welcome back to the Cafe Damietta podcast, right here on WVCR 88.3 The Saint. We will dive into the rich tapestries of experiences that shape our identities. I'm your host, Kelyse Mallory, and today I am joined by Kiara Pierristil, a Siena College student. She is a social work major and a senior. So today we'll just explore different aspects of her culture by asking engaging questions that reveals the richness and tradition of her daily life. There are a few ways to listen to the Cafe Damietta podcast, a biweekly show highlighting different cultures. You can listen at siena.edu/Damietta. So Kiara.
Hello.
We all know how busy it is after spring break, just getting back into the swing of things and the feel of things. So we appreciate you for taking time to have a conversation with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, no problem. So I would love to just start with a formal welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I feel like getting back from spring break, it's always kind of a shock to get back into classes and everything, but I'm doing good, slowly catching up to everything I have to do.
No, literally, I totally understand. We spoke about this before, but just having spring break, but it not necessarily being a break.
Yeah.
For me, it was a break, but I should have used my time wisely. But hey, We're here. We're still getting through. We're managing. And yeah, just thank you for sharing that. Before we just jump in, I just want to start by asking, can you give us a little bit about your background? Like, how did you end up at Siena, and why did you ultimately choose Siena?
Sure. So, trying to figure out what school I was gonna go to after high school was a bit of a mess, which I assume was the same for everyone in our class.
Literally.
Because we literally had nothing. We had no idea what we were gonna do, and COVID was just a big thing
came,
then.
Yeah.
So no campus visits, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely tough. Siena was actually literally the only school I was able to actually physically visit.
Mm-hmm.
And I came here in like the dead of winter, December. It was snowing so much.
Yeah.
But when I came, my tour guide was really, really sweet, and getting to see the campus in person. And like, it was snowing and I hate the cold, but it was still really beautiful everywhere I looked.
Mm-hmm.
So I really liked it when I came, and that in a combination of it being the only school I visited, I really fell in love with the place. So I was like, hey, I'll come here.
Awesome. Well, that's really interesting because Siena was the only school that I visited as well. So I was like, you know what? Let me make a decision.
Yeah.
And, we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Senior, you stuck it through. You stuck it through. So yeah, just again, really interesting to know. And it's always interesting to figure out how everyone ended up at Siena.
Yeah.
You didn't really touch on this, but what's home for you?
I think for me, home is mostly wherever like my people are, my family, my chosen family, and wherever I can get all of those people assembled into one place, so like bits and pieces of them, that's home for me. But location wise, that is also even more complicated. So I was born in Haiti.
Okay.
And I grew up there for 14 years of my life. And then I moved to the US.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been living in Rockland County ever since. So it's like two little different pieces of things, but they're all home.
I really love your definition of home.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the traditional, for me, Long Island. You know what I mean? But it's just saying where everybody is.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. And for those who are unfamiliar, where's Rockland County?
So I'm terrible at geography, but if I can picture this properly, it's 2 hours south of here and about 45 minutes away from the city on a good day.
Perfect. That's all you had to say.
Yeah.
City. Okay, cool. So, 45 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
It's not too bad.
So, like, are you near Yonkers or over there?
Yes, I am near Yonkers. I could not tell you which side of it.
And that's fine.
But I'm somewhere around there.
Listen, okay, so Rockland County, born in Haiti.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Now, before we dive into more specifics of your background, can you just let our listeners know how your Siena experience has been as a Haitian woman?
I think it was a little jarring just because Siena is, like, as everyone knows, it's a PWI.
Right.
So it's a completely different culture than what I'm used to. I think I really had to get used to not having a lot of things that are like very Haitian specific, Black woman specific in Siena. Like, it's like a little trivial, like what most people would say are trivial things, but for me are things that I'm like, well, I kind of need this.
Right.
It's like the food, the music. Well, that I can like transport with me, but like,
The
you
food.
can't really find it.
Yeah.
But like getting my hair braided, like that's a big thing, and just doing all of these little things that make me me, but it's very hard to find here.
I understand.
But I think it's been good overall. Like I've been able to find my people. Like I found a lot of friends, you, Anna, and different people who we aren't like the same culture per se, but we relate to each other in one way or another. So that has really just made it a lot more than I thought it would be.
Thank you so much for pointing out that even though it may be trivial for other people, how it's a huge thing for you. Because listen, Black women, we struggle sometimes with finding somebody who can do our hair.
Yes, and it's such a big thing.
It's
like,
such a big thing because if your hair's not done, you don't feel right. Everything's off.
It is.
But I love how you pointed that out because it is a struggle that we deal with when we go to a PWI, when the community is predominantly, you know what I mean? So just, that's important. And also food.
Yeah.
Food. We'll get into food a little later, but just that's something that we deal with when we come here. But you adjust, and like you said, you find people. It's so important. Listeners, it's so important to find people in college that make this feel like a home, that make this feel like, you know what, I could spend 4 years here.
Yeah.
I could spend some time here and around these people who may have different backgrounds, may have different cultures, but they make me feel at peace. That's so important.
It's a family you make up here. That's what keeps you up here.
Exactly. And if you don't have a family up here, it might be hard to stay up here.
Yes, it might.
But yes, I really appreciate your honesty in that response. And one thing I admire about Siena is how we're all very different and we take our unique experiences to build on what Siena already has. So you just mentioned your friend group, different backgrounds, and like that's okay, but it's just like a mesh, you know what I mean, of like different people, different backgrounds, unique experiences, and I think that's so important. So are there any clubs or extracurricular activities that you're involved with on campus?
I am involved in a lot of things. I think
busy girl.
I used to be. I think slowly as senior year got on, like I kind of pulled back from a lot of things just because it's like senior year, but I'm still involved in a lot, which I don't really know how that happened. But so I am a CA in Snyder, well, MCA of Snyder and Padua, but mainly a CA in Snyder this year, which takes a lot of time, but I love it. It's fun. I'm also part of the social work club. I'm part of the Solid Step team.
Hey, Solid Step.
Yeah. What else do I do? I'm part of Habitat. There's a couple of other things out there that I'm missing, but mainly those are like the big four.
Awesome. And we kind of like touched on this before, like finding people who make your experience worthwhile, but also finding things you like to do in college. That's so important. And it just helps make the experience even more enjoyable if you have something outside of class that is, that you look forward to, that you enjoy.
It does.
So, really quickly, just before we move on to the next part of the show, is there any advice that you would give to students who might be struggling to find their place or to get involved at Siena?
I'd say try anything. And if you're scared or like you don't know if it's for you, be scared and try it anyway.
Love that.
Just because there are a lot of things that I'm involved in now that I never thought I would be involved in walking in as a freshman. Like I never thought I'd be a CA. I'd never thought I'd be part of the Solid Step team because that didn't exist back then when we started. But we brought it back together and now it's a big thing and we do it all the time and it's literally part of our lives. So I'd say definitely just try anything, be scared and do it anyway, and your people will kind of find you along the way.
I love that. It's so important because if you are held back by your fear, you're going to end up missing out on a lot of
Yeah.
things.
And you're just gonna regret it at the end of the
That's
day. And
it.
senior year, you're gonna turn around and look back and be like, "Damn, I should have tried this.
I should have done that. I should have.
Yeah.
But to avoid having regrets, try it anyway. The
Mhm.
fear it'll go away.
It'll go away.
It'll dissipate. Okay, so now, Kiara, thank you again for all of your thoughtful responses. But now we're just going to switch gears and we're going to talk about aspects of your culture that is probably often overlooked. Culture is not just about traditions or language, but it's also about the food that we eat.
Mm-hmm.
Something about a good bite to eat. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. And for those of you who may have just tuned in, we just finished wrapping up a conversation about Kiara and her cultural background and her life here at Siena. So now moving along to the rest of the discussion. Kiara, I know I just asked you, but are you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. So I want to get extremely specific, as I just mentioned. So growing up,
Okay.
what was your favorite food?
Ooh.
And what does it remind you of?
Okay. Okay, I know. I think growing up, my favorite food was. Oh wait, no one's gonna know what that is. Okay, well it's fine. That's the
Listen,
whole
this
point.
is a learning experience.
That's the whole point. Okay. So growing up, my favorite food was pâté cordé, which is, how do I even explain this? Which is like the Haitian version of a Jamaican patty.
Okay.
It's like the best comparison I can think of.
Okay.
I used to get it literally every time I'd come home from school because I would like walk home from school, and I would somehow, some way, somewhere always find like a outside vendor selling some version of this dish every single time. And my mom would literally give me money because she knew that like whenever I would come home from school, I would somehow get this every time. So basically, what it's like Jamaican version of a words. It's like a Haitian version of a Jamaican patty.
Okay.
But typically in the Haitian culture, we'll make it with pickles, which is like an assortment of cabbage, carrots, scotch bonnet.
That sounds delicious.
And like that is kind of like the veggies in it, and it's like meshed together, and it's really, really spicy. And then
you lost me at the spice.
It doesn't have to be.
Okay.
Because I can't tend spice either anymore.
Okay.
But
okay,
but
cool.
it used to be. You don't have it. It doesn't have to be. But they'll put any type of meat in there. So they put hot dog, pork, chicken. It depends on what you want in it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they put eggs and cheese.
Ooh.
I know.
Wow.
And then it's all kind of like put together and you fry it and it comes out and it's just warm and so much flavor.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what does that remind you of? Like,
I think for me, this reminds me so much of Haiti and like my life there. I used to get it every time coming from school, like I said, and my mom knows how to make it. I have my aunt who's like the best cook in the family specifically for that dish. And my mom learned from her and we all make it all the time. I think for me, it's really much Haiti and childhood and just all of the flavors that truly makes Haiti in one dish.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
The way you just described that, my stomach is growling. So, yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's just so important to realize that food is much more than just something we eat. It's tied to memories, traditions, and even emotions. So while this food is being prepared, what smells, sounds, and textures stand out to you?
Ooh. Texture, I'd say like a mix of like crunchy and soft. Just because like the outer rim of it is like crunchy, but then when you bite in like the middle, it's like soft because you get all of the things inside. Sound, kind of like the crackling of like when you're frying something in oil, like if you're frying meat or if you're frying plantain, like that crackling sound when it hits the oil. Ugh. It's like that. What else? always just like bustling sound of like a really busy city or like a really busy house, just because in Haiti like it would be street vendors, so
Mm-hmm.
there would just be people around going about their lives all the time. In my house it's like me and my mom making it together and like talking about random things that we haven't like talked about in a while, and kind of just catching up
Mm-hmm.
and cooking that and talking about all the people that are going to be eating this patty. Because we can
Wait.
never make it just for the house. Like you have to make it for the house, but also for other people that you know that are going to want it.
Yeah.
So it's all of that put together.
Oh wow, that's awesome and such a vivid picture.
Yeah.
I love how certain smells and sounds can instantly take us back to a specific moment in time, and that's why food is so important. It's so powerful. So now every culture has its own customs around food. And you kind of hinted on this where you just make food enough for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But whether it's the way meals are served or who cooks or even the way we eat, are there any unique food customs or traditions from your culture that you'd like to share?
So every January 1st in the Haitian culture, we make soup jumu, which, oh, what is the English word for that? It's squash.
Okay.
It's like squash soup. So you take all the squash, mash it together, turn it into soup. We put plantain in there. What else? Ooh, there's a lot of different things, but I can't think of like the English word for them right now.
Okay. Say it however.
Okay, we'll put plantain, mayok. I can't remember. I can't think of the English word, but I'll figure it out later.
Okay.
We'll put, some people will put like spaghetti and like macaroni in there,
Like a noodle?
like a noodle
Okay.
type of thing. You don't have to, but you can.
Mm-hmm.
My mom will sometimes. But
Okay.
so like every January 1st, every Haitian household will have that dish no matter where they are.
Interesting.
And I love it. Yeah.
And is it like a special day? Or is it just...
It is like a special day, and just a special meaning in general in the Haitian culture. So we have this dish now because back in the day when Haitian used to be a colony, the slave owners and like all the big men and like white people were the only people allowed to have this meal. So when Haiti gained its independence, so now we have this meal every January 1st to celebrate the independence, but also to celebrate our ability to now have this food that we were never able to have before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Girl, I am learning so much. Thank you for sharing that and the importance of that dish in your culture.
Yeah.
So now we're going to kind of like switch gears a little bit and just talk about the emotional side of food, which I feel like you've hinted at this multiple times, but just to really ask the question, is there a particular dish that when you eat it, it instantly makes you feel at home? Maybe something that brings comfort during stressful times.
I think I can think of like two different things. Griot is probably the biggest one. Griot is like fried pork, but we make it like specifically in like a weird specific way.
Okay.
In the Haitian culture, it's like the fatty part of the pork, and then we'll fry it and like have it with pickles, which is like the spicy blend of like cabbage and scotch bonnet and everything that we put in the patty. So like you'll serve it with that and like fried plantains, which is nice.
I love a fried plantain.
So definitely that. I would say that's probably on the more unhealthy side just because of all of that grease and cholesterol. But I guess on the more healthier side, I'd say plantain porridge, just because I feel like plantain porridge for me is such a big thing because my mom would make it like whenever I got sick, whenever it was like really late, and it was like, it's like that time of day where it's like you haven't eaten dinner, but it's kind of like way too late for you to have like a big meal.
Right.
So like she'll make that, and it's basically just plantains blended together into like a soup or like watery type of way. You add milk, you add chamomile and vanilla extract and sugar, depending on how sweet the plantain was. And I'm definitely missing a couple of things, but like just that blended together. You have it with bread or you just have it in regular
Oh, that's
and just eat that.
awesome. That sounds very filling.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's like filling and light at the same time.
Okay. Because you did
Which,
say something you wouldn't have too late.
yes.
Or
It's like
something that you can have.
that you can have late,
Okay.
yes. Like I would have it like 9 p.m. before I go to bed or something.
And be fine.
And be fine.
Oh.
So it was perfect. It's like those two things that I'm like when I'm up here and I get sick, or like when I'm up here and I'm missing a taste of home, like those would be the first two things that jump into mind, because I'm like, damn it, if I was home, my mom would make this for me right now. Or like if I was home, I could make it for myself, or things like that.
Okay.
Or like griot is like if we're having any big family celebration, we're always having it. Or if it's like a special little celebration day at home, my mom will make it because she knows I love it. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for just sharing about griot and the porridge and what those mean to you, especially here away from home.
Yeah.
So I love how food has the power to bring comfort and connection. Now, have you ever tried to recreate a favorite dish from home while at college? And if so, how did that turn out?
So sadly, no.
Okay.
Because I think my whole college career here, I've never lived in a building that has a kitchen.
Right.
So I haven't been able to like recreate any dishes from home here, which is really sad. But
okay.
So one, I found a Haitian restaurant up here.
Do tell.
That has actual Haitian authentic food.
I need the deets.
I found it last year and it was like the biggest discovery of my life.
Wow.
Local. Yeah.
Oh.
It's like right across from Colony, literally the other side of the street.
Wow.
And they have actual Haitian authentic food, and I was so damn happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So even while you're here, you still get to taste home and you don't got to cook it.
And I don't got to cook it. And it was nice because that restaurant literally just opened, which is why like we never had it like my freshman year or anything like that.
Right.
So it just opened, which I was like, damn it. It's like I don't have that much time here, but like at least for the last of the time that I have here, it's here for when I need it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really nice.
Well, thank you for, sharing, and I need that address
I
to that
that
spot.
to you. Yeah.
Okay. If you had to introduce someone who never experienced your culture's cuisine before, what is one dish that you would let them try first, and why?
Okay. I think I would have them try legume.
Okay.
Legume is like Haitian staple dinner meal. And legume is like cabbage, carrots, eggplant, what is like the green little veggie that's like a little triangle? I don't know.
A triangle?
Yeah, it's like a pear shape, but it's green. And it's a veggie.
Why am I drawing a blank?
I don't know. But I don't know what it is. I'm sure one of you out here listening somewhere probably knows.
You guys are probably like, we know exactly what they're talking about, and
yeah,
they don't know.
And we have no idea.
Okay.
But it's all of that and like spinach and kale literally put together in one gigantic pot and like mashed together. And it's one of those dishes. And like you'll add some version of meat in there, so you can add chicken or pork or anything you want, honestly. Seafood if you want to. And it's one of those dishes that may not look appetizing, but it is probably one of the best things you've ever tasted.
Looks can be deceiving.
Yes.
So
it is literally one of those staple dishes that literally like you see it and you're like, I don't know if I want to have that. I don't know.
Okay.
But like you try it and you're like, oh my God. And it's one of my favorite dishes because not only is it like one of those like Haitian staple dishes that like almost everyone, if not every Haitian, knows how to make, but it's one of those things that my family will make very often. And it's one of the big dishes that I learned to cook first when I was baby trying to learn.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a great dish.
Awesome. Well, if you're listening and you've never had any Haitian cuisine, go ahead and try you some legume. Legume.
Yes.
Legume.
Yes.
Hey. So, Kiara, just before we wrap up, is there anything that you like to share with our listeners, whether it's a personal story, a final thought, or even a message for those listening today?
I think just in relation to like food and Siena, and maybe not feeling quite like this is a place for you because you may not look like everyone here, you may have a different culture, I'd say try and carve little spaces on campus or little spaces with people that you can bring pieces of home with you during the 4 years that you're here. Because missing home is a very real thing. And it's like one of those things that you often feel like you can't really do anything about. But I promise there is always a way to carve little pieces of home, little pieces of your culture, of what makes you you, and bring it to Siena. Like I've found ways to bring food to my friends here and have them try food from my home. And I've found other people here that have similar food than I do, so like that we'll cook in the townhouses together. Or the other, not the other day, but like a couple weeks ago, Saga was having a Haitian culture dish day at lunch, and they had authentic Haitian food because I asked our new head chef, I don't really know what his title is, but I saw him once and I asked him, hey, you're Haitian, I'm Haitian. We both can't really have pieces from home here. Do you want to make something happen? And he did.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so definitely like find ways to carve pieces of home for you here, because I promise it may seem like doom, but there is a way, and you're going to find your people and they're going to help you. They're going to help you find the path, create a path, and make a way if there isn't one.
Kiara, thank you so much for all of the incredible advice, incredible information, incredible stories that you shared with us on today. Your thoughts on food and just making Siena a place for you are extremely thoughtful and have provided so much value to the Cafe Damietta podcast. So again, I just want to say thank you. I'm sure our listeners will benefit greatly from everything that you've shared on today. So once again, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Cafe Damietta on WVCR 88.3 The Saint. Stay connected with us for more conversations that explore culture, identity, and community here at Siena College. You can listen to our podcast at siena.edu/Damietta. That is siena.edu/Damietta. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.